I will be showing you the highlights of the things like what we are learning and what are the things we will be covered in this training. Okay, so like this is my introduction, self introduction. So who I am? Uh, my name is Rajkumar Aute, and I have completed my BCom. Like here, the thing why I mentioned this BCom exactly like highlighting this thing is many people they might have a question like I am from non-technical background, I don't have B bachelor of engineering or BTech, MCA, yeah, BSc computer science and all. So I'm the example you can consider like I completed my commerce from the university where it's not a technical part, it's completely accounting, and this is all I have learned, and I was bit interested more in technically from a technical side since my childhood. So I moved into computers information technology industry like IT industry, and I'm going in the industry from last 12 plus years, and I'm having experience into Windows, Linux, networking, cloud, DevOps, and now DevSecOps. So from last few years, I'm completely working on DevSecOps, like uh, from the application end to end building, deploying, and taking care of security part. So this is my introduction. I'm going to the next slide. Yes, these are my major certifications. So I'm certified in Kubernetes administration, and I'm certified in AWS, certified in Azure, and IBM DevSecOps Essentials, and Red Hat certified. These are the major certificates which I'm holding, and along with that, I have many other certificates in my bucket. So these are the major one, and many are other which I believe it's not no need to mention here, but other certifications also there. Yeah. So coming to our main part, so why cloud and DevOps and DevSecOps? Like from many years, if you may see like from 20, 30, 40 years, like our applications are building, deploying, it's running. But why the cloud and DevOps came into picture, and why this the skill is very high demand, and even if it is and it's very highly paid. What change this cloud and DevOps is bringing to our market and our technology? So here, if you see like DevSecOps cloud, it's a very top high demand skill in nowadays, and even in the future, it will be high demand. The, I, and it is a challenging and high paid job. And many of the organization they are looking for the person who can deliver the softwares very fast and less error. So here like I will be explaining a bit with an example. And here, yeah, when we come to the cloud, so here I mentioned the cloud and DevOps in one page. So here I will be explaining a bit more of cloud. So what is cloud? Like if you see there in the Google or in many of the places, you will see lot many definitions of the cloud computing. But here, like simple understanding of cloud computing is like we are setting up our compute resources. Compute resources means like server, database, networking part, and application deployment. All the compute, like where we use RAM, CPU, and storage. So these are compute resource we are hosting on the service providers space. On the service provider space. Service provider space means like here we can consider AWS, Azure, GCP, and many are there, IBM Cloud. So these all are the cloud service provider. So they have they are maintaining all the compute resources in their premises, all the physical hardwares, physical networking, hard disk drives, SSD drives, net completely they are handling, and they are letting us to use it on paid base, like pay per usage, or we can say on a rental basis. So in this way we can use the cloud service providers compute resources over the internet. So here like these are the compute service providers resources, and we are using over the internet and to run our workload or our application database and all what I have explained. And it's more cost effective. I will explain you when we start our basic cloud computing details, like why we are going to cloud, and what is the reason, and what is the use cases, and what are the benefits what we are getting when we go to the cloud. So coming to the DevOps and DevSecOps part. So DevOps and DevSecOps is a, it's not like many people thinks like it's a tool or a technology. Yes, it's a tools and it comes under tools and technology, but majorly DevOps and DevSecOps is a mindset. The mindset is to deliver the softwares or application to the market very quickly and more efficiently using various tools and methodologies. Methods like here, if we see like why quickly and more efficiently. If you see like initially, like I will take an example of Flipkart and Amazon. So Amazon plans something like a big billion day as some any festival, like they came up with a new marketing strategy, and they don't even disclose that 1 week before or 5 days before. So like Amazon not aware of that, like they like Amazon Flipkart is coming with this new marketing strategy, and Flipkart prepared they are already prepared with all those things, and suddenly they put on a like a campaign or a marketing and advertisement, like this is the day where we are giving lot many discounts and on these products and so and so. So Amazon get to know that okay, Flipkart came with this marketing strategy. So on the same day they will they think like yeah, on the same day we also host this marketing, and this is the same discounts and all. So here the problem is only 4 5 days left for the Amazon to compete with the Flipkart. Within 5 days, changes, all the changes like marketing UI changes, and what all the changes in the application background, discount calculation, all those things, they have only 5 days to deliver it to the market. So at that time, if we go with the older way or older way of deploying application, it takes weeks or a months to deliver. So that at the time the Flipkart is will be more ahead in the market, and Amazon will be staying back because they are not able to deliver the application on time. I mean, like they are not able to update their application on time to compete with the Flipkart. So all these problems will come. So to mitigate all these things, like this DevOps and DevSecOps mindset, like technologies and tools we will be using, and we will be quickly deliver our application, and the more efficiently meaning like it will be when we deploy applications, so build and deploy the application, there will be some errors. But in non-prod application, non-prod environment, if errors to fix, we have a time, that's not a problem, we can fix it. And but when it comes to production, the production deliveries will be very faster, and there should be a very less error. Less means it should be near to no errors, but sometime what it happens, due to some reason, like many things will be there, you will be getting new going forward in the course, due to configuration of credentials or any configuration mismatch. This silly things will be there. Because of silly thing, we will be facing the problem in the production deployment. So all the errors and issues that if it is happened, we should be able to roll back it quickly and deploy it again when this issue is fixed. So it should be more efficient, like it should be near to no error. So this is the reason why we are more like more DevOps and DevSecOps people are more in demand. And what all the things we are learning in this course, like here in this course we will be learning legacy part. Legacy means it's the on premises at what we were there in the previously. The reason to understand this, when we know the application how it works in the background means in the previously on our on premises, and when we are moving to cloud, what difference is happening and what are the things we are. And for this knowledge is very much important when you are working on migration. Like you might heard cloud migration, like our application as of now it is running on the on premises, like Now previously many of the companies, like older companies, they were using on-premises servers, like a number of servers in their building, setting up AC room, UPS, servers, network setup, multiple internet service providers, internet connections. These all setups they have made. Previously it was used, and now if, like most of the companies, they are planning to move their application workload to cloud. So in that case, you should be knowing what all the things were there before in the on premises, and what all the changes is happening when we move this application from on premises to cloud. So this will be the more of the theory part here. Nothing will be the practically what we are doing, but it's very much important to understand the on premises, how things were set up, and what it happens when we move it to cloud. And after that, like we will be learning of basics of Linux and shell scripting. Why basics of Linux and shell scripting? Why not Windows and other things? Here, what I know is like there's no much difference in Windows and Linux. Only the major thing, like Windows being used for the .NET application and Windows based servers. And when it comes to DevOps and cloud side, most of the applications are on the Linux side and deployed in the cloud. And once you understand one operating system properly, other operating system is a methodology and like a concept is same. Only thing is slightly the commands and like Windows will be a graphical user and Linux will be the command prompt. So once you understand Linux, and majorly we will be using more in the Linux. So these are the parts, and we will be learning shell scripting as well. Like why shell scripting? To automate few things, we will be learning shell scripting. And software development lifecycle, it will be like SDLC. We will be understanding what is software development lifecycle and what all the stages are there, steps are there, at what all the things we will be taking care, and where exactly we will come, like DevOps cloud team, we will be in that team. And we will be understanding and learning more about cloud computing, that is AWS, and we will learn few of the tools of DevOps and DevSecOps. So here, yeah, yeah, these are the parts. Yeah, sorry, two slides are there for the same. Yeah, on premises setup, like just before I explain like why we should be understanding on premises setup, like just before, as I told, before coming the cloud things, we were setting up all our application on our own servers. So here the problem what we are facing in the cloud setup is, uh, let's say like we have an application, it's running already, and we have 10 servers in our on-premises setup with UPS network, all the setups we have already. And company wanted to expand our application with more, and we at the time we required more server compute resource to set up the application. Like suddenly, like your manager or CTO says, CFO says, or your CEO says that our application we wanted to do the setup, and we wanted to host few more, and it's required more 10 servers. So at that time, it's not so easy just buy a server in uh, day or 2 day. It takes a bit more time, like companies follows the process, like procurement, they have to ask for the quotations from the multiple vendors. Once everything is finalized, price is finalized, order, once we order, company will take 1 or 2 3 weeks to deliver the servers to our location. And once we receive, we have to do the setup of the operating system, set up all the required backend applications like Java and MySQL, whatever the things like we required, the add-ons like applications, softwares to run our application. So for that we need to do the setup, and that will be more task. And once we do this setup, it takes weeks to months to do the setup. So at that time we will be out of the market, because in the market other market players and the competitors are very much faster to deliver the new things into the market. So these are the problems in the on-premises setup. So we will be understanding with the block diagrams and the images, like how what all the things are there, how it was communicating in the on-premises. So this is the on-premises thing we will learn. And yeah, SDLC part here, like SDLC means the, what I mentioned, software development life cycle. So this is the models, like what all things are there and what we will be following. So process what we have is like requirements gathering, design, development, testing. So this is the SDLC what we, and when it comes to DevSecOps, it's a secure SDLC process. Here it's a SDLC and this is secure SDLC. In this we will be taking care of more of risk assessment, threat modeling, and design review, static analysis, and security testing and code review, security assessment, configuration. So here these things are comes like this requirements will like here DevOps will be the part of that, but the major requirement gathering will be done by the product owner, and BAs will be there. So they will take the requirement, and once architecture will design the things, and all once everything is ready, then the deployment part, testing part, and development part, testing part, and deployment, these will be taken care by majorly by the DevOps, who writing the pipeline. So this gathering the requirement from the client, and these all the steps will be there. Along with this, we have to include this security part in our pipeline. So I will explain you more on that, why this thing is came into picture and why we are using this thing. Okay, yeah, here like the cloud computing, a simple image where we understand like cloud computing, nothing but we are using physical machines on someone's space, means some another space, the someone's space, as a cloud service provider. So here we can set up in a servers, virtual desktops, software platforms, applications, storage, networking, many more things are there. And now and recently when it started in AWS, there is only few services were there. Now we have n number of services by the AWS provided, and for each requirement we have a number of options in the AWS. And why AWS we choosing? AWS is a major cloud service provider in the market, and second one is Azure, and third one is a GCP. Along with that, we have many other cloud service providers, but in the competition, if we see, AWS is the first player who came into cloud, and they are more matured in the cloud service things. Like the now we have a service for each and everything. Like we have a service for VMs, platform as a service we have, and database as a service, Kubernetes as a service, all the kind of services we have. And we have a big data service in the AWS. So all the services are there, and we will be understanding all the service, what exactly we will it is being used, and what all the use cases. And majorly for us, we will be learning more into compute, database, storage, networking part, and other stuff where it is being used. So along with that, we have other major services as well, but we will be not going into that more deeply, because for that we should be having good knowledge on data scientist, or other thing like DBA administration. These all parts will be there. We will be not going to that level. And what I believe is we should not be going in depth for each and every service. If we go in that way, like a years and years will go to learn this cloud services. So major things which are required in the market to set up the things to work with our application, we will be learning all those things to uh, learn in this course. And here we can you can consider like you will be learning all the things where it is required to start working on the application. So this is the cloud part. what all things are there. And this here, if you see here, this is the internet, and internet is connected through the router or a switch, and it will be connecting to our on-premises device or our own device which we are using in our home or a office. So in this way, like, this is the cloud, and we will be using all these services via internet, and it will be connected to our devices. So this is the cloud, and we will be getting more detailed things when we go for the next classes and all. Yeah, here, like a simple one image understanding, like DevOps versus DevSecOps. In the DevOps, we are focusing on development and IT operations and application delivery. Before, even when we are going with the DevOps practice, at the time also we are taking care of security. It's not like security is completely new. When we started using DevSecOps, security came into picture. It's not. Security part, like cyber security, application security, these are there from the many years, from the application, when application started, like it might be taken in 1995, 96, at the time, like when application and all those things came. You may, when you started hearing of antivirus. So these, at the time, from the day of very olden days, from that day onwards, like security is there. The only difference what it happened from the DevOps to DevSecOps. Previously, the developer is coding the writing the code. They are pushing to the version control system, that is Git, and once it's done, the operation team will write the script or a pipeline to deploy that application. Once it's deployed, it's used to deliver application, should it will be delivered. After that, testing team used to test that application, and the security team, they used to test this application separately. It's not like along with the coding, deployment, and delivering the application. It's a separate team, and separate task is there to test our application. By that, because of that, the problem what was happening is, developer made the changes, and they pushed the code, and when it's delivered and application is being deployed, and security team scans it, and again they will come back that this is the flaws are there, these are the bugs are there, these are the versions are not updated. So developer need to start working on that again. So it will be the overhead to the developer and the operation team to make the application build, deploy, and all these things. So it is time consuming, and it's more error prone, that it's not allowing us to deliver application very soon to the market. So for that, like, what it has decided to, instead of testing the application after the delivery of the application, why can't we include our security testing along with our the application build cycle? So this we call as shifting left our application, shifting our security part to the left side. Left side means, yeah, here, like in this, in the DevOps, if you see, if you skip this sec part, planning, code, build, test, release, deploy, and operate, monitor. So in this part, it was like nowhere we were using the security part. It was completely used after this operation, like in the along with the monitor we were doing the security thing. But here the problem, it in this phase where we are doing the things, and it's taking more time to, and once we found any bug or any issue here, again developer need to plan for the change, code it, build it, test it, release. Again, once it comes here, if any issues there, again it will goes. So by this, the problem, like new functionalities and all what we have needed to deploy, before that we are struggling to fix our security part in our code itself, and it's taking more time. So avoid that issue, we plan to include all the security part itself in the plan, code, build, testing, and release. In the plan itself means, like, why, like, plan is nothing, there's no any technical, we will be gathering the things, and we will be planning how to do that from the day one itself we have to think in the security part. Day one means like when we plan it, along with that we should be planning what all the tools will be taking care of the security part. While doing the coding, we have to take care of the security, and we should be following the best practices at the time of coding, which matches our security part, and which matches our security standards and all. So and best practices. So in that way itself, on the day one of the planning and coding, we should be starting keeping in our mind the security part. So in this way we have to start. So DevSecOps means, along with like the development operation testing, the security is also part of that, and we will be taking of the security, and we will be delivering the application. So in this way we have, I will be explaining more on this, like planning, what is the plan and what we do in the planning, and what all the tools and technologies. Here itself we decide what all the tools and technologies we'll be using, and how we should be doing the setup. And coding means not like just the application code. It covers our pipeline and other stuff like Kubernetes part. All the things are will comes in this code itself. Software developers will be taking care of their application code, and DevOps team, DevOps means the operation team, will be taking care of the pipelines and Docker file. All the things are required from the operation team. So both we will be working together, and we will start. Yes, and one more thing here, I think I missed to add that here in the DevOps, here like what is DevOps nothing but like it's a developer and operation. So in the olden days, like before this DevOps came into picture, developer team used to build their code and share that to operation team to build it and deploy it. So there is a problem. Developers when they do the application coding, and they do the testing in their own environment, and it's working. When they hand over that code to operation team, when they running the code on the server, it's throwing error due to some reason. Some environment was not matching, like version of the application is not matching. So there will be many issues will be there. So because of that, it's not working at that time. Like operation team used to give it back to the developer. They is saying that this is the error what we are getting with a screenshot and all. Yeah, this is issue, fix this one. Developers used to say that it's working in my environment, there's no any problem with that. You can see, I will attach my screenshot of that, it's working. And operations team says that like, yeah, sure, I will redeploy it. They used to deploy it again, there's some issue, and again they used to throw it back that it's not working. So this is the problem. It's happening like both the team is working in the separate silos, where like there's no any proper communication between two team. So to avoid that issues, that DevOps has came into picture. Like instead of working developer team separately, operation team separately, just club both the team together, let them sit in the same place means like let them communicate and collaborate each other, understand the things like at the time of application code itself. Let operation team also understand what exactly is happening, and have a good knowledge on the application, what it is happening and what all the things are there. At the time of building and delivering the application, they will be having a good knowledge of application, how things are working and all. And other thing, the previous days, like everything the applications was a monolithic application means like all the functionalities are deployed and packed in the single piece. And if any new changes was there, if I take an example, the flipkart we have fashion sector, we have mobile, we have electronics and all those things. If we consider like monolithic application, all the code is clubbed in single application, like if it is java in single jar file, and whenever we are accessing, it will be accessed from the single server, and there is no if any issue comes, then complete application we have to build and deploy, and it's a time consuming, and it will more errors will be there. So when it comes at DevOps, using these DevOps tools, we making our application from monolithic to microservices. So you will be understanding more on that, what is monolithic application and what is microservice application. Here the example, like just before I told, Flipkart, all the like fashion, mobile, laptops, everything we kept it in, clubbed in one application itself, and we are using that. Instead of that, what we are doing as a microservice, like we splitting it out each and every service separately. Like fashion, we are making it a separate application, separate container to run, or a separate server to run for that specific section. For when we add something to the cart, so that will be taken care by the some separate function, or the functions, it's running on the separate server to take care of that. When it comes to payment, it will be connecting to the some another server to do that payment task. So we are splitting all the process and functionalities in the smaller chunks. So making that smaller chunks, if any issue in the cart section, so only that code is a separate thing, and developer can fix it quickly, and we can deliver the application quickly. And by that, other applications, other services what we have are functionalities that will not be affected. Only the cart what we are deploying, if any issues there, only problem will be there in the cart, and we can fix it quickly. I think many of you people might experience this in this many years of like usage. When you order something in any of the e-commerce website, the page will be good, you can select the items, and when you click on add to cart, you will not see that the its item is not being added to the cart. If you try after 2 3 minutes, it works fine. So same issue, like there was an issue in the cart when you were trying to add. At the time, like in the background, that DevOps team, there's some issue they are fixing in the background, but you didn't face the issue with the end complete software or a complete web page. You faced only problem with the cart, and you thought something went wrong or due to some internet issue. You didn't worry much about that, still you continue to browse another items to adding the cart and all. And when it fixed, you add it to the cart. Instead of that, if it's not in a microservice, if it's a monolithic application, when you visit to the website, you are not able to see the website properly, and when you trying to browse the items, you are not able to see that, because it's a single package application. So it will be more difficult to fix the issue very quickly by the developer, and even by the DevOps team to deploy the application. Because when like say that like this complete application might happening the size of 10 GB, so 10 GB, 20 GB are the data to pulled it down to the server and deploying. It will take few minutes to do that. When it comes to microservices, it will be in MBs and GBs. Like just for our knowledge, like minimum like a container we can run within 100 MB. We can run on a website within 100 MB of the server configuration, that is on the container. So this is the more benefits what we can get when we go with the DevOps tools and technologies and deploy the application. So this is the DevOps part, what all the things it will be covered. So we will be going to each section, like planning, coding, building, testing, and releases what it happens, and DevOps sorry, deploy part, operation part, and monitoring. So these all are like continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous monitoring, continuous like security testing. All these things comes in the DevSecOps part. So the tools what we are learning here. So like first thing we will be learning about cloud computing, that is AWS, basic Linux and networking part, and shell scripting. DevOps tools we will be learning Git. This is a version control system, and yeah, now this is the majorly used tool, and we have other tools as well that is not being used. So this is the open source tool which has been developed by the person who developed the Linux. So, so we will be using Git as a version control system, and Terraform tool in the focus of AWS Cloud, A Terraform tool is used to automate the cloud setup using the code. It's called as a infrastructure as a code. And we'll be learning Docker in the practice of containerization and Kubernetes to orchestrate that our Docker containers and Jenkins and GitHub Action. Why we are learning two things in the CI/CD pipeline, like Jenkins and GitHub Action. Jenkins is an open source tool where many of the companies they are using till now. Means even going forward also they will use. It's open source, and nowadays all like many of the organization what I saw that they are migrating from Jenkins to GitHub Action for few of the more advanced things what we have, like GitHub it supports GitHub security part, like GitHub code scan is available. So many things are there where it's lot many features what we have. So for that we are many of the companies they are moving to GitHub Action. So we will be learning Jenkins and GitHub Actions both. And we have GitOps like similarly as a DevOps, but few things get changed here. So the in that we have a Argo City tool. So we will be learning about this. And coming to the security part, we will be understanding more about security and security tools, DAST, SAST tools, and DAST tools. So these are the tools what we are learning in these things. Yeah. So these are the tools and technologies we will be learning in this course and this coming days. Yeah, this is the part of the things what we'll be learning. And if any questions you have, be open to ask the questions.
Hi, Raj. Chandrasekhar here.
Yeah,
Hello.
hi, Chandrasekhar.
Yeah, hi. Can you open that, the description of DevOps? Like in security means, does it also include this penetration testing and all?
Penetration testing, it will be tested after the application delivery. So penetration
Application
testing,
related? Okay.
yes. So that is a different part.
Okay.
It's not DevSecOps. It's a testing team will test it. It's a completely a security part, and it will be taken care by the cyber security team separately, and it's a separate part.
Okay.
DevSecOps means what we are doing. If I
Okay.
show you here, we are coded here. This is the code. Okay.
Yes.
At the time
Okay.
of build, at the time of build in the DevOps, simply we will build the application.
Mm-hmm.
In DevSecOps, we will be scanning the code here itself along with the build.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So if any code, like let's say that the we are using third party or open source, some of the add-ons which has a some bugs or some security issues, something will is there. What it
Bugs
does,
or like I mean, say I can say that some part wherein you can security can mismatch or like can
yes,
be impacting. So
yes,
we will be handling. So in this life cycle,
mm-hmm.
if suppose we are boarded for DevOps, okay. So we
Yes,
will be playing a role on all these cycles, like
yes,
planning. Then
yes.
code will be like coded by us, or like we would be what you call it, modifying the code.
No,
Okay,
no.
yeah. Let me
Yeah,
zoom it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I brought new image. I hope you are able to see this, right?
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. I got it now.
Yeah.
Understanding it.
Yeah. Now in this plan stage. So in the plan stage,
Okay.
we will be
Okay.
planning what all things will be there. Like developer will
Mm-hmm.
plan the design of the application, how it works, what all things will
Mm-hmm.
be taken care. Along with that, we will write the pipeline, the CI/CD
Okay.
pipeline what we have, that we will be taking care.
Mm.
And application code will be taken care by the developers. So here once it planned, developer will be coding the developer part, and we will be
Yes.
writing our CI/CD pipeline, Docker file, what all the things what we will be doing, we will take care of the coding part. Code means here
Okay.
two things will be covered. One is application code, one is a deployment code. So
Mm-hmm.
application code will be taken care by the software developers, and the deployment
Okay.
and CI/CD script what we all write, that will be taken care by the operation
Okay.
teams. So
Mm-hmm.
operation team means the cloud security things what we will be taking care. And
Okay.
in this SAST thing, this application everything is coded here. When it comes
Mm.
to build stage, here along with build we will be including the security tools itself here. What it does along with, before building the application, it will checks the static code, the code what we have static code, that it will be scanning, and it will give the report that this application you are using, it's a version is outdated and it has few of the bugs in that. So to fix this one,
Okay.
you should be using this version. Like you recently might heard about
Yeah, new one.
log js, this issue was there, and
Mm-hmm.
after updating the new version it has been fixed. So similarly, the
Okay.
SAST tool will give the report that these all the third party applications which you are using, that has a vulnerability. So to fix that, you need to upgrade to this, and it will give some suggestions to the developers what should be taken care while to fix this thing. Similarly, if I take an
Okay.
example, we will be writing a Docker file. We written the Docker file
Mm-hmm.
in the normal way, and the code when it scans,
Okay.
it says that it's not matching the best practice of the security. You are running your
Okay.
application as a root, that is not
Mm-hmm.
suggested to do. You should be using a non-root user, and you should be not allowing applications to run as a root, so that it will throw give the report. So whatever the application code is there, that will be taken care by the developer again, and whatever the pipeline related things, Docker files, other stuff which all things are there, that will be taken care by the operation team. So in that way, we are like a developer and operation team both working together to fix the things very quickly. In that way it happens. So here we will be having a SaaS tool, and this testing will be happen, and when it comes to release phase, along like after deployment, along with the monitor, it will run a dashed tools. Dashed means dynamic application, the tool where it runs along with the application, it will give the report if any vulnerability is there in the application. So in that way, we will be taking care of the security part along with this stage. Like at the time of build itself, we will explain all the developers, like while doing, there's a few tools are there, you can use that uh, to work the code and develop the code in keeping the security part in the mind, and go in that way only. So it's a,
Okay.
initially I told it's not just in a tool, it's in a mindset. We will be thinking security part in our mind from the day one itself. So till we deliver the application, there will be many tools will be there where it help us to fix the security part there and then itself, instead of bringing it at the end. Penetration testing, what it happens when application is being running in the environment or integration environment, there is another team, they will do the testing, they will try to exploit the application with some of the tools, and they will give the report that this is the flaw is there. We are able to log into the application without credential, and we are able to run the cross css scripts. We are able to run this script, and your application is running with the root user. We are able to pull this files through this in this way. So they will try to hack our application. The penetration testing, nothing but we have an application, and we have
Okay.
given a permission to them to you hack our application, try and exploit it, and give the report what all the flaws are there, what we missed in the security part. But in this DevSecOps, we will be including all the security best practices, security things in the pipeline itself. This is the difference in the DevSecOps and the penetration testing what we do in the at the end.
Okay.
Hope it's
And
clear about.
yeah, yeah, I got it completely. Can you show that once again when the image
Yes,
which
yes,
is there?
yeah.
Okay.
So this is
So in
not
this
exactly image, just
full com it's kind of website, I guess. So after
Yes.
this, we have this security as well. Okay. Then after this, in the all the cycles, like around there are around four steps, I guess, eight kind of steps. So in all these things, we would be playing a part.
Yes, means that
Okay.
in the planning itself, as I
Hmm.
told, in the planning itself, we will be planning what SAS tool we will be using in this,
What SAS
where
tool? Okay.
which tool like we have
Hmm.
45, we have snake tool, we have many other
Hmm.
tools are there, which will be we will be using. And at that
Okay.
coding coding place itself, we have to follow the best practices related to
Okay.
security part. And when it comes
Hmm.
to building time, here itself we will do the scan of the uh, static code, means the code is not built, just we are scanning the code which we have written. Code means the files what we have, the raw code, that will be scanned, and it will checks all the things, and it will give the suggestion that prayer like a critical, medium, low, based on the severity, it will give the report. And which all the critical parts are there, we will be fixing here itself, going back to the develop phase. We are not going to the next phase till it is fixed. So here we will be
Hmm.
having an option. If SAS tool fails to like once it give the report, if we can fix there, like if it is severity, if one severity is there, don't go for the next stage. It will stop there itself and showing that this is not fixed, and fixed is first. Then it when it fails, developer will fix it. Again it will come to here for the building stage. Again if there is a error, it will be going back here itself, and it will be quicker. Developer is building making the changes, they're trying to build, they push the code. If it is not fixed, then again it will throw back, fix this again. So this will be the quicker, instead of
Okay.
going to the end of the application deployment, and at the time of using get the issue, come back to the developer. And another thing, the big problem here is, we are humans, we are tend to forget the things. The developer who worked in the application 2 months back, if we ask the same code, this is the issue,
Okay.
fix this quickly, the person who has written that code, he himself don't remember exactly for what purpose I have written this line exactly. He need to check the complete code. Complete code means the complete page to understand it, and then he can work. If it is on the same day or next day or within a week, he will be knowing that yeah, 3 days back I have written this code for this reason, so this is not supporting this version, I have to upgrade to this version. So this will be the faster way to fix the security part quickly. So in this way it will be helping us to deliver application quicker, securely, and with less errors and security flaws. So in this way it works. So you can say, like, in each phase we will be thinking in the security perspective, and we will be deploying. When it comes to Terraform and AWS Kubernetes part, all those places we will be thinking like only minimum permission we will be giving. So all those things will comes in the thinking and deploy, like making that to work in that way. Yeah, I hope I like you got my I got the answer for your question.
Yeah, and I got the understanding.
Hmm.
So what about terraforming? What is it?
Okay,
Like in
terraforming.
basic, normal. Hmm.
Yes, yes, yes. A simple understanding. I will explain you.
Hmm.
Let's take an
Okay.
example. Like you were working in a organization where they have a requirement of cloud setup. Okay, they give you a username and password to log into AWS, and they
Mhm.
ask you to do the virtual machine setup. You went to EC2 console, you created your EC2 machine, you run the scripts, or you install the Apache, all the web pages related things, and you run that, and database setup, everything you're doing manually. For that, it
Mhm.
took 15 days for you to do the setup for the development environment.
Okay.
Next day, like a manager comes and says that man, we want this to same setup to do in a QA environment. And QA environment, the company is practicing for dev environment they are using one separate account, and for QA environment they are using separate account. So at that time, you should be going to the QA environment account, and you have to do everything from the scratch and do the setup completely. And again, it takes 15 days time. And after few weeks, manager comes and says that we wanted to go to the integration environment, do the same setup. Again, 15 days. When it comes to production, you have to do the same. Again, 15 days. So it will be the time consuming. And another thing, as I just before told, we are human, we are tend to forget the things. When you do the same thing in the dev environment, if you wanted to do the same setup in the QA, you will forget few things. Few things means like you may not give proper naming convention, you may miss to add one port to allow that port or block that port, whatever things will be there, you might forget. So instead of doing in this way all those things manually, Terraform, the tool where it comes to a picture where it using that in whatever the steps are process what we are doing to the creation of the resources, we can code it in the Terraform HCL language. But it's similarly like a JSON and YAML. We need to write all the details in single page. Single page means in the single place we will be writing the same thing. When we wanted to deploy it to the dev environment, just we have to give few of the variables based on the respective environment. I will show you how to do that, how we will be selecting the files for the each environment. The code is default code what we have, and we can, by selecting the environment, this initially to set up a dev environment, you written all the code. It took like 15-20 days. Let's take an example, it took 15-20 days. And when you run the command terraform apply with the specific which environment you wanted to, it will create the resources in few minutes. Everything is working fine. Next day manager came and asked you to do the same setup in the QA. At that time you no need to write the code again completely. Just you make the changes respective to the environment, like QA environment, add one file, add the details of the QA environment. It will be a few lines only. When you run the QA environment terraform setup, a complete infrastructure, the cloud thing will be ready in few minutes. You no need to sit again for days and days to create that manually. It's not required. And same when it comes to integration, just run the command with the integration environment information selection. Similarly when it comes to production, it works same. So you code it once and that will be deployed in the multiple environment with less time. So instead of doing it manually, we will be coding that and we will be running in the pipeline where it works automatically, and it will be less error prone. And like the standards what we will be following for the naming and everything will be followed there. So terraform will be used for this creation of the cloud resources using a code. It's an infrastructure as a code.
Okay. One more question apart from this. Okay.
Yeah,
So
no problem.
if we learn AWS, the technicality or the practical thing, what we are working with, the skill set kind of thing,
Hmm.
will it be same for Azure, AWS, and what we say GCP? Or does it have to be like after learning AWS, again you have to take time to learn Azure again back?
Here the cloud means nothing but
Hmm.
the concept. And the concept what we learning, it is same for the AWS, Azure and GCP. Like let's say like
Okay.
we have a VM, so we call it as
Hmm.
EC2. When it comes to Azure, we call it as VM, Azure VM. The concept is same, only the terminology is different. Let's take like for to learning the AWS, uh, to complete AWS, to learn it, it took you 1 month to completely learn, 1 or 2 months, based on your time how much you are spending. To learn AWS completely, it took 2 months for you, and you understood everything about AWS properly, and you wanted to learn Azure. At that time, you no need to spend more time again to learn the Azure. You need to just when you start learning it, the concept you already know, that what is VM, what is database, what is networking part, how it connects and everything. You, when you know the basics and everything of the AWS, and when you going to learn Azure, it will be easily understandable and you will learn it very quickly. There will be slight terminology difference will be there, that once you understand properly, you will get to know everything.
But apart from that, I don't have to go back again, learn everything from scratch.
No, you no need to learn everything from the scratch, because
Okay.
you know the cloud thing. Most like same thing is in the AWS, same thing is in the Azure side. Only thing is the services what they are using, that is different. If I show you,
Hmm.
ha, yeah, here. If I open this one, sorry, it is very small. Ha, I believe it's visible to you. This image, yes. Am I
Yes, yes,
audible?
visible.
Yeah. So
Yes, yes,
if you see
visible.
here, these are the major services like server, platform service, serverless computing, Docker, Kubernetes. If you see here, instance VM and VM instances. This is a name difference. You know that already what is instance, how to do the setup of instance. Like like Kubernetes, it's Kubernetes management, EKS, Kubernetes service, and Kubernetes engine. The terminology is different, but under that the Kubernetes is running. You when you know proper Kubernetes, then only the setting up this Kubernetes is slightly different. Once you understand one part very well, and here you will be understanding this part easily. So you need to learn it, but
Okay.
it won't take that much of time to learn. How for EKS it took 1 week to understand. Here
Hmm.
you will be understanding in 1 day.
Okay.
So
Fine.
you should be learning it properly, the basics and the advanced thing.
Okay.
When you understand, other part is easy.
Prerequisites, what are there? Prerequisites, like anything prerequisites? I'm from
uh,
non-IT. That's I'm just asking you.
okay. Prerequisites to learn this thing. Yeah, I
Mhm.
covered all those things like on-premises setup. You should be learning,
Okay.
and you should be
Hmm.
knowing the Linux, and you should be knowing this SDLC. So these all things are covered. So you
Okay,
don't
they are
know.
covered.
Yeah, it will be covered. You
Okay.
non-technical. You joined late.
Yeah, in between I joined a little bit.
Okay, fine.
I'll go through that once
Uh,
again.
no, before this, just see this line about me.
Okay. Yeah, yes, I know that I have seen this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Rajkumar.
I'm not from the technical background. I completed my commerce,
Okay.
and now I'm like having 12 plus years of experience, and I'm leading the team with many of the DevOps engineers are there, and I'm getting good salary. I can't disclose that,
Okay, okay.
but yeah.
Yeah,
So
understood.
no need to
Okay.
be worried about your background, what you have. Only thing, you
Mm-hmm.
should be having one graduation certificate, or a degree certificate from the valid university. That is the
Okay.
basic
Yeah.
requirement from the company. What the organization they will ask you, you should be having a
Mm-hmm.
valid degree certificate along with the
Okay.
this skills means just not a skill. You should be able to use this and use this wherever it is required. Once you learn
Mhm. Yeah,
that
I got it.
you will be
Mhm.
getting good job and a good salary.
So I have a gap of 2 years. So how do I handle that? Will you be able to speak to me after, like, on a separate session for a while, on a
Yes,
call?
yes, yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay. I'll check and I'll have a setup with that. Okay.
Yeah, sure. You can just ping your details to the number which our organizer has messaged here. You can just
Okay.
ping your details. Will be one
Mm-hmm.
of our team, or I will be calling you to discuss on that.
Okay. Sure, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? The people who wanted to.
Sorry, how many, I mean, session is how many days it is that, like, you say
It
duration?
integration, it will be like 2.5 months to 3 months.
2.5.
Yeah.
Okay. 2.5, 2 months, the time period, or it will be like the covering of hours. Like, suppose we are starting from November 1st. So it will
Hmm.
take December or Jan mid.
Yeah, like it will be going like till January.
Mhm. Okay. Do you have any like the limitation of class now these many hours, or like you will go till you complete it?
It's like it will be like daily 1 hour, and after that
Mhm.
you should be having it time to practice it. It's a
Okay.
cloud and DevOps and the technology. It's not like a simply theory, read it, done.
Yeah, yeah.
We have to
Mm.
practice it till you practice.
Okay.
If you didn't practice it, you will be not able to work on that. So you should be practicing
Yeah,
that.
yes.
So because of
Mhm.
that only we have to go that level, like 2 to 3 months to understand and practice it. Like completing these all
Okay.
things, I can complete it within 15 days as well, but it will be like
Hmm.
simply watching the movie later you don't remember what it happened.
Yes.
So you should
Okay.
practice it. So practicing, you should be having a good time for that. What I explained
Okay.
for that, if you wanted to do, it takes 2 3 hours to practice for that. So for that, it takes two
Hmm.
and a half to 3 months.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, Hello, Raj.
Yeah. Hi, Jishan.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay. So I have a couple of questions. Which services will cover in AWS?
In the AWS, we have majority of the services. Just before I put one image, 1 second. Yeah, majority of the services what we cover is here. If I split those things into the major part, we have compute service, we have database service, we have IAM service, we have networking service. In that, like we have route 53 things. So these all the things are majorly you should be knowing. So we will be covering all those things. Along with that, we have a like a content delivery network, CDN. So that you will be understanding what it is exactly. There's no much things to do. You can do the practically, but we will be not having much things to do the things on that. So we will be understanding what that service is will be doing exactly and all the things. To be frank, we will be not covering each and every. We have in AWS we have thousands of services that all cannot be covered. If we wanted to go in that way, this course will go for 1 year or more than that.
That's true. But we'll cover are we going to cover the Beanstalk and
Yes,
um,
yes,
so we'll cover Beanstalk
yes,
um, and we'll cover Road 53
yes.
and
If we
S3.
want, yeah, if you wanted to list understand the list of that, we will be covering EC2 and EC2 related stuff like load
Right.
balancer, auto scaling.
Right.
This will be covered. And when
Okay.
coming to platform as a service, Beanstalk is there. Within the Beanstalk, we will be having a Docker container also there, and setting up the directly upload your code and use it. Beanstalk it will be covered. We will be understanding of Lambda. We will be understanding of ECS. We will be understanding of EKS and S3 bucket and EFS storage, CloudFront and VPC,
Okay.
RDS, Aurora DB, all the
Mhm.
things where it is required for a solution architect. All these things will be covered. Along with
Yeah.
that, we have other things where it comes like big data services. All those that will not be covered because it's a
Okay.
complete set of different part.
Okay. So the services you mentioned, you're saying
Hmm.
you will cover those services.
Yeah.
Let's suppose you start a batch and
Hmm.
you later find out that because there will be different skill levels students, right? Some
Hmm.
from non-IT background and some from
Yes.
IT
Yes.
background, right? So,
Yes.
uh, so how you will teach them all these services? Because I have one bad experience. So when instructors see if the students level is not that what
Good.
he's
Yeah.
expecting, it should be to learn those services, right? Working on those projects. Let's say
Yeah.
you have a plan to deploy an application from on-premise to cloud and migrate that application, first deploy on-premise, then migrating the application to the cloud, and
Yep.
then use cloud service, right? And
Yes.
then suddenly he changed his mind and he said, no, it's okay if I can only teach Linux, and I can only teach basic shell scripting and basic things, and
Mm,
just show them how to start the EC2 instance on the cloud, right? And
mm,
then he just quit.
mm.
Okay,
Yes.
so I just want to understand what is your purpose, what is your end goal. Are you going to complete whatever you are saying? Are it's gonna be same like the person I'm talking about? He done that.
No, like I'm here to teach the things very well. And another thing, yeah, I mentioned here, I do things in my own way. So, and this
Okay.
means that I know the what you told. Like I'm also from the non-technical background. When I started learning, I struggled for this because
Right.
I when I took many courses around 9 years, 8 years back about this
Yeah. Same
virtualization,
here. Same
and
here. Yeah.
I subscribed many of the courses. I didn't get what exactly I want because they were
Right.
explaining directly the technical part. I was not able to understand because I'm from the non-technical background. So
Right.
here, like I'm follow the way that even might be the technical person or a non-technical person, they should be understanding what is this and why we are using this and what is the benefit of going with this. Like simple, like if I tell you the simple example, like explaining the cloud thing, I will tell you like instead of like on premises versus cloud, is a simple example. I will tell you like uh, difference between two, on premises and cloud. Simple way, like you are owning a car, your own, you are maintaining the driver, you are filling the fuel, and you are parking the car in your garage, and you are maintaining everything. You are spending money on that completely, but you are using the car once in a week. But but you are investing huge money on that, and it's a dead investment. Instead of that, if you go to the cloud, similarly example of the car, instead of going to buying a car, rent a car, rent for 2 hours, 4 hours, for a day, use it, and just once you stop using that, you will be not paying any rent for that. So instead of spending a lakhs of rupees, millions of rupees on a car, you can spend a few dollars for a day, use it, done. You don't need to be worried about the maintenance of the car, paying the salary to the drivers, fuel, service, everything. You don't need to be worried. You will be using the car for required base, use it, pay what you have used, and done. So cloud in this way. So I will be explaining the things in the layman language where the people will understand from the technical background and non-technical background. They will understand when they understand the things where this is used. So when you go for the work, the basic things will help you lot to work there. Like I don't know how what other people thinks, but what I think is when you are strong in your basic, the advanced levels of things you can do very easily. If you skip the basic things and when you go for the advanced things, it will be more difficult for you to handle the things when you don't know the basics. So I will be teaching you all the basics things related to the AWS and DevOps DevSecOps part. Few of the advanced things you can learn your own when it comes to the place.
Okay.
So in this way,
So
my
so
plan is to teach.
okay, so my question is, let's say, uh, if I have a little knowledge on AWS services, like how to spin up EC2 or running into a VPC and load balancing and load 53, and m- my goal is to, you know, uh, join a session
Mhm.
where I can implement some products or deploy some applications and learn how to deploy application, how to secure that application, or how to scan all the uh, Docker images, or deploying the uh, code using Argo CD on Kubernetes or EKS.
Yes.
So uh, so I want that kind of course.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So if that's what I'm saying. If you uh, say you will cover only basics, right? So in
Mm.
those basics, right? Let's say after the 2 month
Mm-hmm.
course, you only cover basic AWS, basics of Linux, basic of shell scripting, and basic of before the, as you mentioned, you will cover some Lambda, you will cover
Yes.
some so uh, that's the thing, if I
No. No.
is just a with is just for this course,
No. No.
uh,
It's not a
so
basic thing.
no,
Basic
no,
thing.
that is not
Majorly.
basic thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Majorly.
I just want to understand. So your goal is to start with basics, then
Yes.
you will show us. You will do some projects. We will
Yes.
deploy some applications first on premise, then migrate into the cloud. Are running the application on these days, EKS and Kubernetes microservices are very in the market. So so we'll do all these kind of things, right?
Yes. See, the day one you are zero, when we complete this course, you will be running your application in your cloud.
Okay, so how
That
many
will be like
projects?
some open source applications will be there, and you will be running that application in your cloud in a Kubernetes using Argo CD.
So how many projects will
So here we'll
do
be
you
doing
name it?
one project.
Okay.
It will one project, and it will be covered all the basics means like all the perspective of the things. Here like projects means where we come to like multiple projects, like let's say an example, we will be doing a setup on EC2, one project. We will be doing the same thing in the Kubernetes, and that will be another project. In that way you can consider, but here we will be using one application, and we will be deploying that application on the EC2, and same thing we will be doing in the Kubernetes as well. So in that way we will do. So you will be understanding more on that, like in the real time what all the things are there and how we will be doing that, and how the application is being connecting from each other, like microservices are being connecting from one to another, how it connecting and how the communication is happening from all the other services to uh, database, and all these things you will understand in this course.
So do you have any breakdown of let's say breakdown of all those topics and the timeline? Let's say if you start from the basics, Linux shell scripting, in how many days you will cover those topics and then move to uh, Jenkins and GitHub Actions and all those stuff. So is there any breakdown you have for timeline?
Sorry, timeline is not exactly prepared to share with you, but
Mhm.
here like I can say like these two things will be covered in a week, within a week.
Okay. Okay.
And this will be, I can say like this three part will be covered within a week or 10 days. This three
Mhm.
here it will be more about on-premise setup will be more about the theory part, understanding how things was there now and in the previous days. And Linux things will come, like understanding Linux basics, the
Mhm.
required commands to be knowing when we become as a DevOps engineer. Like many of the commands will be there, so you should be
Yeah.
learning. And if you wanted to learn more on Linux, I will be suggesting or sharing a URL or a portal where you can learn Linux from your browser itself. You don't need to install anything. Simply you
Mhm.
can learn that more detailed based on your time. Like you can spend more time on that learning Linux. You can learn that. And shell scripting. What is shell scripting and what all things are there and how it things will help. This one shell scripting. When we learn shell scripting, it will help us to do this DevOps pipeline writing, and all those things will be helping us this scripting. And in the perspective of application automation, build and deploying, all this will be covered in the shell scripting. Shell scripting is not just a this this 1 week, it will be covered till the end of this course, because wherever we do automation, the shell script will be a part of that.
So,
And
will we do some groovy language or not?
yes, it will be a Groovy language, but here we will be not learning Groovy here. The pipeline, how we write, like Jenkins has a GUI, and we have a Docker file, sorry, Jenkins file. So both how we write and what all things are there, like how to include the add-ons, how to add the secrets, variables, and how to pull them, that will be covered. And this Jenkins file, what we write, it will be in the Groovy script. It's not required you should be learning Groovy language. You can understand easily what all things are there. Simple things will be there, but only thing is it will be written in the Groovy. Just pulling the credentials, that couple of additional steps we have to do, that will be covered. You will understand properly.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, any other questions, any doubts?
No, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jishan. Yeah, here, like the final word, what I can say is, like, I will be teaching you the things, or all the things. Like, if you have a bit more things to understand more on that, yeah, you can reach me. Like, if everyone says like that is more required, I wanted to understand more on that, we can take additional sessions to understand that bit more on that. So, but the things
Mm,
it will be covered in this course will be like, in these 3 months you will be understanding complete basics of things, and AWS part very well, all the services which are required to work as a solution architect, and planning, deploying, like architecture, things like how we decide to use what services, those things you will understand. And DevOps tools, writing the pipeline, and building the application, deploying the application, and you will see the applications being running. All those things you will be doing your own in your own setup. Few of things are free, and few things are will be paid minimum, that you can practice your own. And few of things are there which you can do it free of cost, that also I will suggest you how to do the practice regularly in this course. And even after, to keep up with the market, what all the things you should be following, that also it will be explained you at the end of the course, like a couple of suggestions, like how to be updating yourself in the DevOps and AWS part, to be in the what to say, updated with the current market.
okay. So, so basically, after you're saying after completing this course, we can take any DevOps interviews or apply for any DevOps job, right?
Yes, you can. At the end, few of the sessions will be there, where we understand the mindset of the DevOps engineer. Here, like, it's not just a tool, we should be speaking like a DevOps engineer. What is DevOps and all. So
So,
that mindset should be there. So that also we will
can
take some sessions on that.
can we, if any time we need your suggestion or your help, can we directly message you, or we have to call the organizer first, and then they will arrange a meeting with you? How it
You
works?
can, yeah, you can
There
reach
will
this
be
number.
any community group or anything
Yes,
where.
that will be created. That will be created. You can reach this number which has been texted in the chat. You can reach them, and if anything required, you can schedule a one-to-one meeting to understand more on that. If you have particular doubt on such specific things, you wanted to understand few more things on that, that you can ask them, and they will schedule a meeting. We can schedule a meeting to discuss one-to-one.
Okay, that will be great. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other things, like wanted to understand? Any questions?
All good on my end. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Jason, for the confirmation. Yeah. I'll take it as no questions, and we'll be wrapping up this call. See you,
Thank you.
see you tomorrow again in the course.
Bye.
Yeah.